Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. In this video, we're going to specifically focus on RAID. Let's get going. Hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. Do us a favor, if you find anything that helps you in this video, click that like, smash that subscribe. All right, what's hop in. This video, as we mentioned, will be dedicated to RAID. It'll be a continuation of our series. We've already done CPUs, memory, and drive. So if you're just now finding us, we're doing a whole series on all the commodities for the DL380 Gen10 Plus. So what we're gonna do in this video, first off, we're gonna show you the different types of form factors of RAID that you can use for this server. Then we're gonna put up a compatibility chart that's gonna show you the different model numbers that are accepted. There might be some other ones, and if there's something we miss, hey, throw a comment down below. But during that compatibility chart, we're going to show you some of the different features so that you can pause it there and compare them and pick what's the best RAID for your application. And then we're going to show you how to physically install the RAID cards when we're going to do both types of form factors. And then at the very end, we're going to show you step-by-step instructions on how to configure RAID 1. So depending on where you're looking at, fast forward and let's hop into the good stuff. All right, so that brings us to form factors. So there's going to be two types of form factors that you can use for the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. The first one is a very common one, and that's going to be your PCIe card. PCIe card is a very popular option. The other one that I'm a bigger fan of personally is going to be your smart array controller. The reason I like the smart array controller is there's a carved out spot on the motherboard for it, and then you can use your PCIe slots for additional network cards or anything else that you might want to add to your server. It's kind of like the mini mono for a Dell PowerEdge server, and it's just a great little option that you can use for your RAID controller to save the PCIe slot. All right, so now we're going to throw up a little compatibility chart, and again, feel free to pause it right now, but here's just some of the different models you can use. It's going to show you the software RAID versus the hardware RAID, the cache, etc., the different RAID levels. So just a good time to pause it and figure out which RAID is great for you. All right, now we're going to show you how to do the install, but before we do, I'm going to grab my ESD gear and be right back.
Hey everyone, this has been with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'm going to be showing you how to configure RAID. Specifically in this video, we're going to be configuring RAID 1. The steps we're going to show today are going to be very similar no matter what RAID level you want to configure. So if you follow along, you'll be able to configure whatever RAID level you desire. I would like to note though that if you are following along and trying to configure a different RAID level from RAID 1, you may have a different set of requirements. First of all, the actual RAID controller that you're going to be using, you want to make sure that it is supporting the RAID level that you want to configure. Scott broke down all the RAID controllers and their supported RAID levels earlier in the video, so if you want to go back and look at that. The other thing to consider is how many drives does your RAID level need? RAID 1, for instance, needs a minimum of 2 drives, while a RAID level like RAID 5 is going to utilize 3 drives or more. So I encourage you to do a little bit of digging and some research to figure out exactly what you need. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is power on our server. And during post, we want to press F10 to enter into the intelligent provisioning. Once we're in intelligent provisioning, we have 4 options to choose from. We want to select the Smart Storage Administrator option. Once we're in Smart Storage Administrator, we want to select the RAID controller that we're using on the left-hand side of the screen, and then we want to click on this blue Configure button. After we click that Configure button on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see where it says Controller Devices, and if we click on Unassigned Drives, we can actually view our drives that we have installed that haven't been assigned to an array yet. We're going to go back to the controller, and then we're going to go ahead and click on Create Array. And those 2 drives that we saw under unassigned drives is going to be displayed here. In our case, we're going to go select all of these drives because we want to use both of them for our RAID 1 array. Once we have our desired drives selected, we can click on Create Array. In our case, we got a warning message. This is because the capacities of both drives are different from each other. Whenever we do this, this is going to prevent us from using the full capacity of our largest drive. This is something to be aware of whenever you're purchasing drives for a system, but to break everything down, basically, if you want to configure a RAID array, make sure all of your drives are the same capacity. So we are aware of this, and we're gonna go ahead and press yes. And over here, if you go to the top left, you can see these two RAID levels. We have the option between RAID 0 and RAID 1. We're gonna go ahead and leave it at RAID 1, and we're gonna leave everything else at its defaults. And one of the great things about this configuration utility is that for each option it has in blue text, what is this? It'll basically explain to you what it is, so whenever you're going through this configuration and you don't know what something is, or there's something you may want to change, you can just use this option here and it'll explain it to you. Once we're done, we can click Create Logical Drive. We are going to get another warning message. We can go ahead and click on Yes to continue. And then here is displayed the final screen. It will be a breakdown of everything we have in our array. If everything looks correct, go ahead and click on Finish. And there we have it. We have successfully configured RAID 1. As you can see, it was very straightforward, and if you followed the steps throughout this video, then you'll have no problem configuring any RAID array. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if you're interested in purchasing any servers or workstations for your home lab or data center, we got a wide variety of options to choose from, ranging from HP, Dell, Supermicro, and more. If you're interested, head to our website or email us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. Take care, guys.